All right, all right. Hello, hello. We are in day three. Day three of the Love Your Enemy Challenge. And boy, do we have challenges with that, don't we? So yesterday's pretty exciting. I'd love to hear from you how your story updated. How did your brain automatically update that story that's been playing in the back of your mind, causing bitterness, hatred, hurt, resentment for so long? When we did the work of interrupt, breathe, and refocus on creating that feeling that we do love, creating a frequency that's working from a creation standpoint that expresses love, that raises us up, and then we go back and we review the story. What things updated for you? So I'd be happy to hear through Messenger on in our group, the Happiness Tribe, or you can come in here and share with me. So I'm Tammy Magnuson, a Dream Builder coach certified with the Brave Thinking Institute, and also a Utaptic practitioner certified with Skills to Change Institute. Welcome to a challenge that, if you do the work, you're going to have miracles. So let's begin our day off taking a look at some of the things that have happened in my life. All right. Hopefully you can see the screen. Love Your Enemy Challenge Day 3. Tell on yourself and then let it go. Tell on yourself and let it go. So we all get an odd sense of feeling good when people agree with our story of betrayal, abuse, and abandonment. Let's agree to not let that story become emotionally involved, because it will be true to our subconscious mind and will thereby create an action and a result. And the result is one that we do not want. Let's continue in a manner of feelings and emotions that are from a frequency high enough to make a difference. A story is true to our subconscious mind when we get body sensations. In other words, our subconscious believes what it hears and it sees it, even though it isn't happening right now. And so these subconscious programs playing in the back of our mind often give us sensations. And how do we know those sensations? How do we know if we're having, if we're having a sensation from the past or from an experience that we do not love? We'll know because our feelings will be out of alignment with what we do love. Our feelings will be out of alignment with what we do love. And I love this from yesterday, so I wanted to share it again. Wallace Wattles writes, thinking truth in the presence of facts is the toughest and most rigorous thinking any of us will ever do. And that's why so few people do it. So the master teacher, Jesus, understood that you can, he understood the ways of circumstances and what you can say to those circumstances. You are not more powerful than the power within me, that the one within me is greater than the one in the world. And this is a living example of that power that every one of us has, to have a circumstance, but not let the circumstance have us. Don't repeat it. Don't think about it. Don't reenact it. Don't visualize it. Don't keep the pop-ups that keep coming up with that same image, that same story, that same visualization. No matter what it looks like, there's something we can do with what we have from where we are. And if we'll just do that, things will open up. So it's our action that comes from the emotions that opens up new opportunities. So there will show up then a next step and a next step and a next step, and they will appear to us when we're in that right feeling for it to happen, when we're in the right believing mind for it to happen. Jesus and the paralytic are symbolic of you and a condition, your client and a condition. And the power within is always greater must be assessed and applied. Do what you can with what you have from where you are. You are not helpless. You are not hopeless. So, I'm going to share a time in my life when longing and discontent inspired me to make some big, huge changes. And I didn't know any better. And that's why I love sharing this with you. So, there was a time in my life when I felt like a part of me knew that I was meant for something more and something greater. And that part of me was starting to die. I wasn't listening to it, but I really didn't know how. I was lying in my bed. I remember this like it was yesterday. My mom was rubbing my back and she was crying too. And she's a very petite woman, a little plumper than me. And she was really angry. We were all angry. I was angry. And we were angry because we felt the stress of a custody battle that caused me so much internal turmoil and pain and angst that I was in the middle of a miscarriage. I felt as though I was being sucked backwards down a drain, and the power of the drain was way stronger than me. No matter how hard I tried, I was still being sucked into the abyss. I know it was fall. I remember looking outside and seeing the leaves dotting the hillsides, and I could feel her hand making circles and rubbing up and down. This was the only comfort that she knew for her only daughter. I made a decision. I made a decision right then and there that I was not going to be the victim of this kind of pain anymore. I didn't know how to change it, but I was sick of it. It was, as the proverbial saying goes, rock bottom for me. It wasn't my fault that he betrayed me, and I wasn't going to find answers for why I would ever it wasn't my fault he betrayed me. And what I really wanted to know was how come this happened to me? How come he would betray me? And I wanted to find answers for why I would ever choose a cheater, or why somebody would ever even do that. Like, I was just going to find out what's wrong with me. So I studied psychology, positive mindset, personal growth, metaphysics, religion, neuroscience, tapping, neurolinguistic programming, and hypnosis. I found out that there wasn't anything wrong with me. It was what's wrong with him. I'm just kidding. What I really found out is that I was programmed to react a certain way and to believe that I'm bad, I'm broken, and I'm a sinner. And so my brain was automatically looking for the bad thing, and it sure showed up. Through this process, I learned to start looking for the good thing and to update what I remembered about my past and to recreate it, imagining it better with goodness and kindness and love and compassion for me in those moments and for my enemy in those moments. My stress started to look more like a TV channel. I could turn it off or I could turn the channel. I could connect to my own inner power for answers. I had insight into my own life, and all the puzzle pieces started fitting together. I started understanding my life because of this very hurtful event, this very awful event in my life. The puzzles started coming together. I was really relieved. Like, the question, what's wrong with me, entered my head probably 1,000 times a day, and I started realizing what it was. I stopped being depressed and I quit blaming my ex for all my problems. I want to read that again. I quit blaming my ex for all my problems. And maybe it's the reverse. I quit blaming my ex for all my problems, and then I stopped being depressed. So I hope that empowers you. I hope that empowers you to know that there's something you can do to stop these feelings of anxiety and depression. I became aware of my own thinking and how my hate for him was inside me, poisoning me. I became aware of my thoughts of hate being inside, causing all of my problems. My own thoughts are with me 24/7, aren't they? And that's the day that I was set free from blaming someone else for how I felt hurt. Not that it never happened, but when it does, I can catch it. I notice what I'm noticing. I want to blame them. I want to judge them. I want to make it, out of my power. I want to give my power away to someone else and say it's their fault that I am having these inner sensations. and they deserve to be hated. So I'm going to have this inner hate sensation. And I don't deserve it. Things started to change for me and changed so much that during this huge custody battle, I even forgot to go to court one time and just in the nick of the time remembered it. Now that's huge because I would stress and strain and put myself in such a horrible anxiety that it was very difficult to get out of bed before I knew this work. And so to forget court is kind of a miracle. It really is. And boy, did things change. You know, what I really did was stopped being irritable around my ex when I realized that I was doing this inside my own head and causing my hate to come out as a reaction. I stopped feeling sorry for my kids and I stopped blaming him for all my problems. I didn't feel that constrictive, hateful feeling around him. It was an automatic change. I didn't have to try to like him or try to work towards a good feeling. It was automatic. I didn't feel that heaviness in my chest that would pop out ready to attack. I didn't hate the sound of his voice or his mannerisms. I even found him funny sometimes, which just happened as a natural byproduct from this work. I began enjoying the time that I did have with my kids. I enjoyed that my kids were part of both of us, and I appreciated what I had, what I have. And I began to make nice comments about my ex and even stuck up for him sometimes when the kids would complain. These were massive changes that I didn't have to try to do. They happened as a byproduct. They happened as a byproduct. And this has been a journey of self-discovery that's led me to finding the most delightful person that I get to live with the rest of my life, me. When I no longer have the hate, the disappointment, the resentment, the rejection, when I no longer have that inside, I'm a very delightful person. Even I think so. Like I said, I get to be with me 24/7 inside my head. And what I do is going to create a life I love or a life I hate. So to me, that's freedom. And I want to point out that the feeling that you get, that feeling that you get from hate is fuel for your actions. That feeling that you get from love is fuel for your action. It helps you take action, right? The emotion. And what emotional state do you want to take action from? So you're either going to be motivated to create the same story over and over and relive it 1,000 times, or create a new, more empowered story. And this is kind of what we worked on yesterday. And I hope that you guys had these immediate changes, these immediate updates that you started noticing in your own mind, going, wow, well, that's interesting. I never noticed that color before. I never felt this feeling, or I never felt sorry for them, or I never understood that from different sides of view, or I never appreciated this about them. Hopefully, your story is becoming more empowered. Now, you will create a life by default if you're not aware of those emotions, because the emotions will create actions and you'll be taking actions that lead to results you don't like. That's default. That's what your brain is going to do for you automatically. But luckily, we are humans, not animals. And so we can interrupt, we can breathe, and we can refocus our mind. We can refocus our mind and notice the story, refocus our mind, notice the story, refocus the mind, notice the story, and update it. Our brain is a miraculous organism for us. It can work for us instead of against us. So you're going to create a life by default if you're not aware of those emotions, and you're going to create a life by design if you direct the inner show. That's the show in your mind, the videos, the pop-ups, the images, the sounds, the smells, all of these things, the sensations in your body that are going to pop up. You get to be directing this inner show so that your emotions can line up with the frequency of your dream. Frequency of your dream. And then you live from your dream. So our brain is this resource of all of our experiences, and what it will bring up when we're stressed is negative stories, images, sensations, and feelings. And we're going to think that we're out of control of them, that they just pop up and we didn't even know, have any idea of how come this is happening and how come I keep thinking this negative thing. And, we just think it's part of us. And it is, it's the way the brain works. But when we notice what we notice inside, what am I seeing? What am I hearing? What am I feeling? And we thank that part of us, we can do this as part of the letting go process. And then we can notice the direct opposite and focus on that. I love this. My friend Helen shared this with me yesterday. Helen Kestens, thank you. She said, "Thank you for showing me what I don't want. Now I can focus on what I do." So those pop-ups are going to happen. That is a natural part of your brain protecting you. And when they do, when you notice the sound, the sensation, the feeling, the emotion, when you notice that emotion rise up in you, if that's all you notice is that body sensation, well, thank you for showing me what I don't want. I don't want to feel constricted. I don't want to feel a stomach ache. I don't want to feel like my throat is clamping shut. Thank you for showing me what I don't want. And immediately focus on what you do. I want a clear, open heart. I want a sense of openness in my throat. I want to swallow easily. I want to speak clearly, right? I want to digest properly. I want to feel butterflies in my stomach, right? We could feel butterflies instead of that punch to the gut. So take that opportunity to notice what you notice and say, well, thank you for showing me what I don't want. Yeah, body, thank you for doing that, because that's what your body's job is. And just know it. That's just what it is. And when it shows you what you don't want, now I can focus on what I do. Notice the opposite, and focus on that instead. It takes mental power. That's why we up here, we're reading again Wallace Wattles. Thinking truth in the presence of facts is the toughest, most rigorous thinking any of us will ever do. And that's why so few people do it. So think about your emotion. When my throat was constricting up, when someone would say no to me and I would have like this instant ball in my throat, or somebody would turn me down or reject me and I would have a ball in my throat. Thinking truth in the presence of facts. The fact is, it felt like there's a ball in my throat. The truth is that I can say, thank you for showing me what I don't want, and I can refocus, right? And give fuel to my actions from the emotion that I do want. Thank you for showing me that I don't want this ball in my throat. Well, that seems like a fact, doesn't it? But the truth is that this is what I want. The truth is that this is what I want. And I practice that instead. And we're going to talk about that more tomorrow. Imagination is a powerful, powerful mental faculty that animals do not have and humans do. So let's use it to create beautiful things in our life. So sometimes we need even more tools and skills. And so I want to talk about the love technique. I coined it the love technique. I don't know what it's called, but I've heard it over and over, and it really is helpful. And so if yesterday your story didn't quite change, it didn't update as much as you'd like, you still have more work to do with your enemy, then let's practice this. So what you're going to do is imagine someone that you admire or ascribe to be like. And I want this to be a living person. So a living person, an icon to you. Maybe it's somebody in leadership. I know that the queen is no longer alive, but maybe somebody like that. Maybe it's somebody in your church. Maybe it's somebody in your community. Somebody that is a leader that leads in the way of love. They exhibit love, true love, and you admire them for their life, right? There's like the Dalai Lama, there's religious type people that are changing the world with love. So then we imagine someone that we admire, and we just imagine them standing right in front of us and notice their clothing and their smile and their hair, and just notice their face and their body and their image. And then next, imagine someone that you just love. Maybe it's a grandchild, maybe it's a pet. You know, a lot of people can use their dogs for this because dogs are just so forgiving. It's so easy to just be like, oh, I love you. Or horses, or even a place in nature. Maybe it's a woods and you see the woods and you're just like, oh, I love it here, or the ocean. So first, we imagine that someone we admire, their image, their essence. Just imagine it right in front of you. And then you go and imagine someone that you love. And then you imagine your enemy. And if you feel that constricted feeling, just go back and imagine someone you admire. Make it really easy for you. Do not fight to love your enemy, because that's a fight. That's not love. That is a fight. That's not love. So do not fight to love your enemy. Do not create conflict inside of you to love your enemy. Do not force yourself to love your enemy. Use these tools to trick your brain so that you're feeling love automatically. So let's do it again. Someone you admire or ascribe to be like. Imagine their essence, the way that they love, the gifts that they give the world, the expression of their spirit on earth. And then imagine someone you love. So easily, so quickly transition to that person. And then imagine your enemy. And you can even imagine the enemy standing in the background of all of those. And just like as the enemy is coming through, the essence of the enemy is coming through, whether it's your dog or a grandchild or a friend or a loved one, and then through this person that you ascribe to, they're picking up some of the essence along the way of those people that you love and admire. And so this is a practice that you can do to give yourself automatic different sensations. And that's what I want most, is for you to see how easy it is and stop making it difficult. Stop making it difficult. All right. So notice what you notice when you're even doing that, or anytime throughout the day. When you think of your enemy, I want you to notice what you notice, and I want you to say it out loud. Say, let it go. I like tapping when I say, let it go, right? And then do that breath, blow it out through a straw, and focus on what you really love. Happy memories, good feelings, the ocean, the mountains, a baby platypus, a kitten, a puppy, something that gives you that instant feeling of love. And sit in that vibration of feeling of love as long as you can. When you can't, notice what you notice. Oh, there's a constriction in my heart. There's a squeezing, there's a punching, there's a wall, there's a another shoe's going to drop. Something bad's going to happen if I feel this feeling. Just notice that. Notice the change. Let it go, let it go, let it go. I like taking a big breath in and really stretching, giving my body a different sensation. My body believes what I'm thinking about. You guys know your body believes what you're thinking about? So think about good things. Happy memories. All right, and today we're going to do a tough lesson. Are you guys ready for this? Yeah, you ready? All right, this is for only, and I'm going to preface it. We're not going to use this technique unless the others aren't working. All right, like if you're like, wow, the essence of this enemy coming through the people I admire and love most. And you know, maybe the person you admire, I'm going to say that's okay to say that it's somebody that's not living, an icon that you love, maybe Mother Teresa or the Queen or Abraham Lincoln or somebody that you really think is an icon, Martin Luther King Jr. So go ahead and have that person you admire. But the person that you love, so the admirable person can be alive or not alive, the person that you love, or the item that you love, the dog, the puppy, the kitten, the grandchild, the mountain, that needs to be alive. And as you bring the enemy up through that, if you feel better, That's great. You don't have to use this technique, but this is for when you're really stuck in a judgment, blame, and hate loop. Guys, what we do is we have a loop and we leave that loop open um, when we're not bringing the love in. When we're not bringing the love in, then that can just replay and replay and replay. So when you need a different perspective, then sometimes we need to look at how we've done this also. Or maybe we're even doing worse. And this is the one technique when I was at my lowest point and I didn't know what else to do. Like, this is the point I told my story earlier. Most of you weren't here, where I was in a custody battle that had me laying in bed and I was in the middle of a miscarriage because I was so toxic and poisonous myself. So, what we definitely want to do is notice this judgment and blame and hate. And that we're probably doing it worse to ourselves by feeding ourselves the same story 24/7. So the incident of the custody case happened over, I don't know, a 9-month period or something. And each day brought its own challenges. But when I replay that in my head, I'm doing it to myself. My body believes what I'm thinking about, and I'm doing it to myself 24/7. No wonder why I was a panic-stricken anxiety mess, like destroying relationships left and right. So we recognize it, are honest about it, and let it go. And the ways that we can let it go, we've talked about some of those. Hopefully, you're finding some that really work for you because you are unique. And when you know yourself, you know what to do for yourself, then you are going to set yourself free. And that's great. You're empowered to do what you can do with what you have. So we're going to breathe, tap, interrupt, however it is, and refocus on what we love. So this is called tell on yourself. The thoughts that you think about someone else, you're going to say it about yourself and find common ground with this person. And then you're going to do the important thing, let it go and refocus. I'm even going to write that down right here. And refocus. And we're going to refocus on the emotions that we want to feel, the frequency we want to feel, the love, the memory that helps us feel that beautiful sensation that we want more of in our life. What we want more of, we can practice. Say it out loud. What we want more of, we can practice. What we want more of, we can practice, right? So we're going to think those thoughts that we think about someone else, say it out loud, admit it. It was really painful for me to admit some of these things. And then find that I have common ground. So I'm going to give you some examples. The judgment we hold inside ourselves for someone else is living in us. The judgment we hold inside ourselves for someone else is living. Who's keeping it alive? Me. That judgment is a cruel punisher, and we are the ones punished by our own thoughts over and over and over. Whatever we judge, notice how we are also doing that. Is that like super powerful? I remember the first time I thought that, I was like, oh my goodness, no wonder why the Bible says like you're going to be judged at the same level that you're judging others. Well, of course, because that judgment is in me. That person's not feeling this horror of judgment and punishment that I'm doing over and over. So let's notice it, let's admit it, and let's let it go. And this is really for you only if you're really stuck with a person that's done something really traumatic and it's so difficult. So I use some dramatic examples because it was so difficult for me. And I kept thinking in my head, I'm like, I don't deserve to lose my kids in this custody battle. He's the cheater. I don't deserve it. He's the cheater. And I said, he's the cheater. And when I learned this work, I had to turn it around and I said, I'm the cheater. And I think it took me 15 minutes to see how I was the cheater. I'm like, I'm not a cheater. I'm not a cheater, though. I can't say I'm a cheater when I'm not a cheater. And then I realized I'm cheating myself out of peace. Who's cheating? Me. I'm cheating myself out of peace by thinking about this. And that was the truth, wasn't it? He's a liar. I pride myself on being super honest and upfront and forward and all of these wonderful things, right? He's a liar. He's a liar. And I had to say, I'm a liar. And then I couldn't figure out how I was a liar. And then I realized I'm lying to myself that my inner state is his responsibility. My inner state, my inner emotions are his responsibility. And I'm taking away my own power. And then you let it go. He's a cheater. I'm a cheater. I'm cheating myself out of peace by thinking about this. You can tap, you can sing a song, you can dance, you can go for a walk and breathe and then refocus on what I want. Oh, I love my whale sensation. You guys that were here Monday, I talked about my whale. I love my whale sensation. I'm chosen. I have this beautiful connection with a wild creature. She's so lovely. The smell, the sun, like the day was perfect. Wouldn't I rather think about that? Not if I'm judging someone else. I don't want to feel good when I'm judging someone else because I want to be the punisher and I'm the one being punished. So interrupt, don't try, don't force yourself, just interrupt, 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 interrupt over and over. I did this 1,000 times that day. I did it for 2 straight hours because I didn't know how to help myself. And when I did this, I started seeing that, oh my goodness, I have some common ground with this person that I hated. And we really are the same. And when we feel that for a person, there's instant compassion. You know, we're not separate anymore. We're not working from a separate understanding and hate. So I said, he's a terrible parent. And I wasn't a terrible parent. I can guarantee that. I had read books and I had done things and I made sure my kids felt loved and I played with them and I was there for them. He is a terrible parent. And then I realized I'm a terrible parent when I think bad thoughts about him. And you know how that was true? Because I couldn't get myself out of bed and I couldn't stop crying in front of them. And here they were living a beautiful childhood life right in front of me. And I wasn't there. I wasn't present. So I let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Sing a song, dance, and enjoy a happy moment in your life. Feel good. Go for a walk. Do something. You know, you might have to make yourself do something that feels good. And if you have to make yourself, then you just know I need to interrupt this. I have to make myself let it go, let it go, let it go. I don't want to let it go, let it go, let it go. What else did I think? I thought, well, he deserves my hate. Let it go, let it go, let it go. I said it out loud and then I realized the irony in it when I turned it around. And then I let it go. He's manipulative. He is so manipulative. I can't believe that he told me since he cheated, he will not take my kids away. And here he is trying to take my kids away. He's manipulative. And then I turn it around. I'm manipulative by holding this grudge. I'm manipulating him to fix something for me. I'm manipulating myself to feel bad. I'm manipulating the future story with this bad energy. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. So if you're stuck and you'd like to try this out, I would be happy to help you. And it can feel like a very vulnerable space. So I understand if you don't want to and you want to do this in private. I just encourage you to only do it if you're really stuck and to notice the power is within you to turn it around and see how you are similar so that you can let it go. When we notice similarities among ourselves, compassion is automatic, right? So is there anyone that would like to try this and do not feel obligated? Just know that Patty would. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Patty is so incredible. She's having such great results and she's sharing them with me and just blesses my heart all the time.
Thank you. I'm so sorry I was late. It was my nurse coming and everything, but hi, Mandy and Christy, and thank you. Thank you, Tammy. You just have helped me so much.
You're so welcome.
Yes, I'm sorry I was late. I'm sorry.
No worries. The replay's in
I was
the.
later than you were, Mandy.
Oh, were you? Okay, but I'll listen to the replay later. Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
for
me
sure.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what is a judgment that you're holding against your enemy?
okay, right now my enemy is not me as much, but my neighbors.
Yes.
And they judge me so much.
So
and
they
they
are
think
what?
that-
They are judgmental.
Yes,
Good. So this is with
Yes.
all gentleness that I can give you, because this is a tough technique. That's why I'm handling it with kid gloves. And I don't know you guys. I know Mandy the most of everybody here. So I'm handling you with kid gloves. I am judgmental when I believe they're judging. When I believe they're judgmental, I'm judging
Oh.
them.
I
Let it
am.
go. Let it go.
Go, let it go. Let it go.
Right. I'm just like them, but now you can have compassion. We judge because we want somebody punished. But we're
Yes, I
punishing
do.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
terrible. I
And when you
don't want
believe,
them punished. I don't want nothing bad to happen, but sometimes I just want them to get a reality check. or something.
yes, I need a reality check when I judge other people.
Yeah.
Let it go. Let it go. And then we can cross tap. We can give ourselves a hug. We can rub our own neck. Like as you let it go, be kind with your body. Your body is supporting you in the best way it can by judging someone else.
I like this one too.
I do
So
too.
I love butterflies, so I feel like a
Yeah.
butterfly. And it does
There's-
feel good. Don't it feel
there's-
good, Mandy?
Yeah.
It feels good. And it feels good, Christy. Oh,
And there's a butterfly technique that we use with kids. So we're like, flap your arms, or be a little butterfly to give
I
them
love
something
it.
light and airy to feel. So when that our body can give us sensations that help us change our emotions. And our mind can give our body sensations that change our emotions. We can use either.
Mm,
Sometimes just smiling can change your emotion.
mm.
yes.
And for me, what I find the most miraculous about this work, because it's painful, and well done, Patty, because it's not easy to do it, but when you can look at somebody else and say, okay, so what's going on in me that I'm not recognizing? And then Tammy very cleverly has pointed it out, what it was that was obvious to you. The miraculous part for me is that how they interact with you changes.
Oh, yes.
And that is the utterly magical part for me, is that now that you realize you're being judgmental about how they're so judgmental, and you see that so are you, and then suddenly you think one day, God, they're not being judgmental anymore. It's miraculous.
It is. It is. And I've seen it when I work with clients and they have an estranged relationship. It could be a child or a parent or even a friend. And they haven't seen them for 10 years. And we'll work on this. We'll do this work. And they will say, you'll never believe it. And I'm like, they called you. They say, yes. And I'm like, I'm always so happy and surprised, but it's kind of hard to believe, but it happens every time. There's a huge shift in the way that we view them and they change.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so fun. Oh, you're so welcome. Patty's your sparkly butterfly. I agree. Great. Anyone else have a judgment that you'd be open to? Like, this was super hard. I was the kind of person that there's nothing wrong with me. I am right. Like, I am a pure and honest and upright person. And he did all these horrible things. And I was pointing my finger so much, and I was killing myself physically, mentally, emotionally.
Mhm.
I didn't deserve it. And I was doing it to me way more than he ever did. So it's really from my heart that we use this technique, but it is very helpful.
Mm. Yeah. I have a relationship with my sister, and I love her genuinely. I feel that love. I really, I physically feel how much I love her, but I don't like her. Sometimes I really don't like her. And when we're able to talk to each other, she's a Christian, and we are able to talk about. I mean, I'm not a Christian. For Chrissy and Patty who don't know me, I mean, I don't mean I'm not Christian, but I mean, I'm like Tammy. I believe in the universe and the universal energy. And so when I talked to my sister, the last time we spoke about it, I said, "You're the most controlling person I've ever met." And she said, "But you're the most controlling person I've ever met." And I think, well, what am I doing that's controlling? I don't know. And so tell me, sometimes I'm a bit lost with Vicky, because people who don't know us very well say, "Mandy, I can't tell the difference between you two. You're both loud."
Okay, how about I want to control her, so I like her. Let it go.
Tell me that sentence again.
I want to control her so that I like her. You said I don't like her. That's a judgment. Well, whatever
No.
you don't like, you want to control and change. If you liked it, you wouldn't want to control it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I need to write that sentence down somewhere. So the sentence you're saying is, I want to control her,
Her.
so I like her, but that's the wrong part, is what you're saying. It's not an affirmation.
Right.
I need to let that go.
Yes. Yep. Let all of these things that we say inside of our head that are not from a good vibration, love and above, the energy of love heals and it opens and it grows. That's where plants grow bigger and humans grow better, and bad things change. The love can really overpower any negative energy. So I don't remember what my train of thought was.
We were talking about, I want to control her, so I like her, and you said let it go.
Yes, so always let it go if it's a constricting feeling, and sometimes that helps. That word constrictive is like you just want to close up, or you
Switch my
want to
phone off. Switch it off.
It's your sister.
No, actually, no, it isn't actually. No, I'm doing well with my sister, but that might. So
then
if I
then you can
control.
say, I don't like myself when I'm controlling my sister. Let it go. Right?
Yeah.
You don't like yourself when you're controlling your sister. You're thinking like, oh, I hate her haircut and I hate her outfit, and I don't like the way she says this, and I don't like how she's making mom do this, or bringing her dog in my house. Or okay, whenever you don't like something about her, then notice that you don't like, how did I say it? I don't like myself when I'm trying to control her.
When I'm controlling my sister.
Oh my goodness, if you have a partner in life, that statement right there can save your marriage or save your partnership. That statement right there. I don't like myself when I'm controlling them. That is so true. Let it go. Right? And it's a miserable place to be, to control other people so that we feel good. What if we just felt good? How would we act different? Go ahead, Patty.
Okay, so then when they come at us, then we're supposed to compliment them, because because I would let it go, but then it's like, okay, you guys are really cool because you guys have fun together, or you guys
What
make
are
me
they
laugh.
coming
They
at
make me
you with?
laugh.
Like, what are they really driven about? This morning I wrote about John because that really affected me yesterday. And I was
Yes,
like,
me
okay,
too.
so I'm going to do forgiveness about this because,
Yeah, I did too.
oh, I'm so glad. Because you know what? This is John gave us the perfect example for how to change things. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
We had a guy show up that was very inappropriate yesterday. So I want to say, I love and appreciate John because he's brave, he's bold, he's willing to be seen. He has great desire for love. He has great desire for attention. He has great desire for fun. He has great desire for laughter. He has great desire for excitement. He is drawn to real love by being drawn into our group. And
Okay.
he took action on his dream. So, when they're coming at you, what does that mean? And just notice what you're noticing when you think the thought, they're coming at me. Are you seeing them like run towards you, or they're seeing their angry face? Let it go. That old image will repeat itself and you'll see it again and again and again.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Thank
the
you.
feeling of they're coming at me, you could say, I'm coming at myself with images of their faces. Let it go. Those images are not fun for me. That's not my fun energy. That's not my butterfly. That's not my sparkle.
But what if like the one says, oh, what were you doing? Just sleeping all day? Which I'm on the computer, I'm not sleeping all day. I'm just not outside with them because they always want to go out. They're old biker chicks and they drink
So
and
what do you believe about yourself when they say, what are you doing sleeping all day? I'm lazy. I'm no good. I'm a bump on a
yeah,
log.
yeah.
You know what?
Oh,
If you let it go and it didn't bother you, you might say, oh, I actually love taking naps throughout the day. Isn't it marvelous? Do you ever just lay on your hammock? Do you ever just, and like ask, like they probably want a nap.
oh my gosh, that's perfect.
Don't you think they might want a nap? Like they're probably like, man, I wish I could just get a nap. Arr, she's getting a nap around.
Yeah,
It
maybe
doesn't
they need
matter
a
what.
nap because they're so mean,
Exactly.
mean-hearted. They're not mean.
I'm
They don't hurt me,
so
but
mean when I think bad things about them. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Right? So this is how we turn it around. And
thank you.
we think thoughts so fast that sometimes it's hard to catch all of them. But it's so much easier to release it when we see that commonality. And then it's easier to have compassion and we react differently. When they say something and it doesn't feel like, oh, they're trying to say I'm lazy, I'm a bump on a log. If it doesn't feel that way, you don't feel that constriction, you're going to be free to answer in a whole different way.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yes.
And get
I
on your
love it.
butterfly. You're showing up as a butterfly. Of course you take a nap if you want. Of course
Of
you flit
course.
around when you want. Of course you're doing what you love. That's good. When you do what you love and you live the life that that you love, then you are sharing that beautiful opportunity and possibility with others who don't believe it could happen.
Thank you.
Yes.
Wow.
As long as it
I
feels
love
good.
it. I feel,
I want you to feel good. Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Okay, let me share a little bit more and then we will end our day with a workout. So the truth is we're all doing the best we can, even those people that are unskilled in their behaviors and doing harmful, hurtful things that we believe are harmful and hurtful, like John is a good example. They're doing unskilled behaviors as a result of their pain. And they don't know how to do it better. They're doing the best they can. We're doing the best we can. And when we come at someone with that attitude, we're so much more open to the possibility of change. And that's what we want. We want the possibility to see them different, to have change in our life. We cannot do it from that same energy and that same thought. So let's stop the pain and blame cycle inside us so that we can generate a new possibility. And we're going to use imagination tomorrow and have a different result. So the homework is, what similarities do you have with that person you've been blaming? And here we had some beautiful examples. Thank you for opening up and being willing to do that, because I wasn't willing to say those things out loud. There was no way I would admit that. I saw myself as perfect, but I wasn't aware of those thoughts until I started going, oh, I thought that about him. I would say it out loud to admit it, and then I would turn it around and then I would release it. It stopped having a stronghold in my life because I wasn't hiding it. And I wasn't trying to show that I'm so good and you're so bad anymore. It was compassion. And were you able to release the grip of blame because you saw how you are similar or the same? And so those are the two things you can post. Some people are sending me emails, which is fine, but we'll be in a drawing for, let's do so yesterday it's going to be the journal, right? So let's do the $25 gift certificate to anywhere you want. Could be Amazon, could be a coffee place or a neat little diner that you love, whatever. you enjoy. All right. Do you ladies have any questions?
You're amazing. Thank you. You're saving
I'm
my
so glad
life.
I get to teach what I learned. And, you know, the learning process is tough, but it's the becoming. It's becoming.
Mhm. And they're a blessing, these people. And I know, I understand that without them, I could never improve myself.
Sacred friends.
Yeah, absolutely they are. And you've got a ghost in your house, Patty.
Yes. It's my husband. I for some reason I blurred the background. I didn't realize my husband's on vacation this week. So
Oh,
That's
it's
clever.
fine.
That's a good idea.
yeah, he's ghosting me. No.
Yeah, so with Vicky, it's probably a lot easier because I do love her, and so she sent me a really lovely message this morning. Well, probably last night. I didn't look at the time actually when I woke up, and she's just become a grandmother, so I've just become a great
fun.
niece, and so
Congratulations.
Nancy is 5 months old, and she just said, Mandy, Gareth and I, it's a husband, Gareth and I can't cover for Nancy for
I'll tell you.
half an hour at 5:30. Would you be able to come and babysit? And she said, I'm sorry, we haven't given you more notice. And I thought, she must be drinking because that's never her language. I'm sorry.
And
And,
that's
I thought,
something.
wow. So
When I did this work on my mom, I
Pardon?
remember
Yeah.
thinking my mom never calls, she always calls me with bad news. Like, what's wrong with her? She always calls me with bad news. Of course, you could turn it around. You could do any of these techniques on that thought. And then out of the blue, she called. She's like, I'm like, oh, what's up? What happened? And she's like, oh, I just called to say I love you. And I'm like, she never calls to say I love you. Now, who knows how many thousands of times she did that? I wasn't aware of it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, Mandy.
Yeah, it is. It is, and that's why I'm saying to Patty that it's the absolute. It's like it's like if you could see our lines of vibration in our body and in the universe.
Right.
It's like we've unlatched something that's gone zooming up, and
Yeah.
So I'm now in half an hour. I'm going over to cuddle my niece.
Yay.
Baby, so that would be nice, yeah. And my sister is like me, and that's why I said, can I make myself? Oh no, oh, that's my sister. No, that's sister. Let me answer this. Hang on, let me answer this door. Hello. I'm talking
It is
about.
her sister, isn't that beautiful? Yes, and that's what can happen with your neighbors. So whenever you think like they're gonna come at me, they're gonna say something negative, they're gonna let it go and do a bar and be like, I'm gonna imagine it. I love that statement that my friend Helen gave me. Thank you for showing me what I don't want. When you imagine them coming at you, thank you for showing me what I don't want. Now I'm gonna imagine them being nice.
I gotta write this down. Thank you for showing me what I don't want.
Yes.
I love it.
It's easy to think of those negative things. And that's one moment when you think like, oh, the next time I see those neighbors, they're going to say this or they're going to do this. Well, thank you for showing me what I don't want. I'm going to imagine them saying, oh, what a beautiful day. I love your shirt. You look like a butterfly. And you would be so shocked at the exact things will happen. So shocked. It's a beautiful place to live from. We create.
You both are awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I muted you, Mandy, so you can unmute if you want.
Yes. I'm sorry, I didn't think about the mute. Yeah.
So enjoy that little baby. Write down all the feelings.
Yes.
Step into that emotion. Notice where it's in your body. Write about it and take pictures. Put them in your journal. Enjoy all of those precious. That love that you instantly feel for a baby.
Yeah, nice. Okay.
Great. All right, you guys have your fun orders, right? You're gonna have fun. You're gonna enjoy life.
We're on it. We got this.
Quit punishing yourself with judgments of other people, and you're going to notice you're similar. Like that's the energy of God. Is like God created everything, and His energy is in everything, and we can be part of that when we stop separating ourselves.
Thank you.
Okay.
You are
Beautiful.
fantastic.
Thanks, Tammy.
You're
Thank
welcome. You
you.
ladies have a wonderful day. We'll
Okay.
post the winner of the journal later today, and I'll see you tomorrow. It'll be 9 o'clock again,
Okay.
the same Zoom link, and bring your friends. Imagination is the
Brilliant.
key for tomorrow.
Yay, that'll be fun. Now that's right. That's the different time, right?
That'll be the time that we met Monday and Tuesday. So it'll be an hour before today.
Okay, so that's 9 o'clock
Mountain
Eastern,
Time.
or 10 o'clock
8
Eastern.
10 Eastern, yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay. Okay,
And
Okay,
all right,
okay.
and 3 p.m. UK time.
yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Okay, take care.
have an awesome
you.
day.
Go get him, Mandy. You got
Bye.
this.
Bye.
See you
Bye-bye.